You ever wonder that why do people feel empty when they have everything in their life? You may have a good relationship, you have a good bonding with your parents, with children, if you have any, you have a good job, you have a good life, but somehow something is missing. And a lot of people around me describe that as like a space of void, a space of emptiness. It's like an unfulfilled feeling actually inside. I have a lot of entrepreneur friends around us actually talk to me about these things. They have like a perfect life in a lot of people's eyes. But they themselves, when they are alone at night, oftentimes they feel that something is missing. I have one very particular friend from Singapore, and he started broke, and then he started thinking maybe he needed to make the first million in order to actually fulfill this emptiness within him. So he started climbing his corporate ladder. He started aiming to make his first pot of gold. And then in I believe in 3 years, he got it. And then at that moment, he felt like he was still missing something. Then he started chasing. Maybe he needed more, maybe 1 million, not enough. So he started aiming for 10 millions. When he hit 10 millions, he actually felt the same way. And then he thought to himself, maybe now it's time to have a family. And then he bumped into his beautiful wife right now. And then he got married. He has 3 beautiful children. And yet, after 5 years, he's still feeling that emptiness. And then he told me that maybe it's time for him to give back, need to do some charity. Then he started doing charity, he started giving back, but still feel that something is missing. So today I want to discuss actually what is actually missing when you have everything. So I want you to imagine that whatever we do, a lot of time we are doing from a space like a human being. That missing piece is actually a feeling of our soul connections. It's a feeling of our heart space. So you can be doing a lot of things mentally. You should do this, you should get that, get a good family, get a good job, earn a good money, helping people, whatever that you think you should be doing. But if you are not aligning to your heart space. Your heart maybe wants to not be a doctor, maybe your heart wants to be an artist. And that feeling will always have a gap inside you. And that gap is missing. I'm not asking you to change job, that's just an example. This is an example for people who have this urge inside you. Sometimes it can be as small as maybe you are missing some hobby that you like rock climbing, and then you are too busy chasing after success. And that little voice inside you has been neglected. So imagine like an inner child, like a children inside you that is being neglected. The voice is unheard and you always brush him aside. And that unheard feeling and that gap create like a void, like a missing connections. And that connection is, if it is not being fulfilled, and that is why we are feeling that missing piece, that feeling, that emptiness actually. So how do you actually fill up? So a lot of people will think that you have to do fulfilling things. But fulfilling things is not according to what society wants you to do or what you heard is good to do. Like there are people who do charity again and again, but at the end of the day, they still feel empty. It's not what you should and shouldn't be doing. It's what you feel, and that gap is actually a calling from your soul, a calling from your heart. And that voice itself, once it's being honored, once it's being fulfilled, that void, the emptiness will disappear. So that void is actually like an alarm telling us to fulfill certain things of our heart, of our soul actually. So to summarize this, the void inside us is a missing soul connection, that's missing soul actions. So a lot of time, in order to fill up the gap, we have to trust our gut feel. We have to trust our intuition. A lot of the time, those intuitions makes no sense. I understand that. Maybe you look at your circumstances, look at your situations, and you realize that, hey, It's not a good time to do this now. It's not a good time to do that now. But then your heart, if it is keep on like bugging you or keep on giving you this signals or messages, sometimes people talk about it. Sometimes you look at magazine and there's a phrase talking about that. Sometimes we get all these signs around us, and those are important signs. Those are the signs where your souls, your heart wants you to listen to. Because once you tune into that, sometimes, a lot of times are not logical. But once you tune into that, you're not just filling up the emptiness or the void inside your heart. Sometimes you reignite or rekindle the feeling of joy, maybe. Maybe the rekindle your childhood memories, maybe to bring upon the inner child to have fun again, maybe to reconnect you to love and harmony. We do not know the overview of how life actually unfolds. But our heart has the connection to this cosmic, I would say the cosmic like an internet, knowing what is truly good and appropriate for you. But our mind oftentimes are very limited to all this understanding because our mind can only compute the data of all our experiences in these lifetimes. And those experiences sometimes, yes, you can hear from someone else. Those considered an experience as well, but those are very limited. Those are the experiences of the past that may not represent your experience tomorrow, right? So when you use only your mind to make decision, you're basically using the data of all your yesterdays and trying to figure out what is best for you for tomorrow. So I want to sum it up as such, okay? Think of your mind and your heart actually has two different roles. The mind has this job description, I'll call that job description, like a job scope, that make you safe. So it will always compute and analyze the data that tells you, is it logical to do this? Is it safe to execute this plan? Your mind, the only job of your mind, of your brain, is to actually keep you safe, keep you survive, basically. But the job scope of your heart is actually to make you great. It's like an inner coach. It's like a coach that you go to the gym, keep on pushing you forward. Sometimes don't tell you the reason. That's somehow it's like your heart. They don't give you, a lot of times this intuition, they don't give you the reason of why you need to do this or do that. Maybe they just give you an overall feeling, an overall message of do this, do that. But they do have the connections to the cosmic library that knows the potential of your future, that will bring upon the greatness within you. So when the universe gives us two things inside one body, which is the mind and the heart, there is always a purpose to the existence of both. I'm not saying anyone is greater. It's good to make good use of two of them so that eventually your heart can actually be the main driver that will work with your mind, which is your brain, to help you as a tool to actually analyze or compute or come up with a strategy that aligns with your heart. But most people actually, unfortunately, being enslaved by their mind in a way that all decision must derive from the brain's computations, and their heart is always being closed, not being accessed, not being allowed. And that actually will not bring upon greatness inside your life. If you ask a lot of successful people in the world, a lot of time they actually follow their heart, and that will be one of the best decisions that actually bring them to where they are today. When we actually follow the voice of our heart constantly, we will always be fulfilling this urge of soul to express through us. And then the emptiness and the void will forever be gone. And our mind can be a tool that can be used to help us strategize and plan a life of greatness and adventures. So thank you for tuning in.